If you don't mind, would you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell me why you got involved with the company or why you started the company?
Okay, so I will jump in first. I am Dr. Stacy Blaine, and I am a molecular cellular biologist, and I have been studying the cell cycle for well over 20 years. The cell cycle is it's a regulatory system that we have in our body that tells cells whether they should divide or not. And in its simplest form, cancer is loss of that regulation. So I had found some interesting discoveries about ways to stop the cell cycle. And I started Concarlo about 4 years ago and brought my partner, Lisa Marie Casey, who will introduce herself on board. And we started Concarlo together.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Marie Casey. I've spent over 35 years, first on Wall Street, and then in the angel and startup world, focusing on operations, advising, and investing in companies. Stacy and I knew each other personally, and I at first started just sort of talking to her about how she would get Concarlo off the ground, and we decided there was a natural fit for me to come on board as the Chief Operating Officer.
I understand that you said you've been in existence for 4 years. Is that correct?
Correct.
We opened the lab on January 1st, 2017. So technically 4.5.
Well, there you go. It all matters. It all matters. So specifically, what problem does your company address?
So we are interested in dealing with drug-resistant cancers. And in particular, our first target is breast cancer, so metastatic breast cancer. And the idea being in that in 2021, we have lots of targeted therapies, lots of new therapies that have entered the market to deal with specific types of cancer. And they have really made huge differences in both the lives of our patients and in terms of their outcomes and their progression-free windows. But there still is a big drug resistance problem, particularly in metastatic breast cancer. About 40,000 US women will die this year. And what happens is that these women take these therapies, they get some degree of response, but then their tumors evolve away from that therapy and come back and cause problems. And so there are not as many therapies out there on the market that deal particularly with that drug resistant state. And we felt that we had a unique ability to target that drug resistant state by going after specific entities. And that's where we want to enter the market to deal with drug resistant breast cancer in our initial indication.
So besides metastatic breast cancer, is there anyone else who specifically experiences this problem that maybe not now you'll address, but in the future you'll address as well?
Absolutely. We think that the targets that we're going after are so universal that we think the drug, which is called IPY, will have applicability in many other types of drug-resistant disease. Our second indications would be sort of ovarian, which is a really terrible tumor type. There are not a lot of targeted therapies in that space, a lot of old school traditional chemotherapy, and a lot of resistance that happens, coupled with the fact that most women are diagnosed at a very late stage when they already have that drug-resistant, highly metastatic disease. So we're also interested in metastatic melanoma, non-small cell lung cancer. We think that there are many, many opportunities of other tumor types to investigate, as well as other combinations using our therapy in combination with other currently FDA-approved drugs to get better response for our patients.
Excellent. Can you share how somebody might experience this particular problem?
The drug resistance problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, in the metastatic space, perhaps a woman had breast cancer and it was diagnosed even in the sort of more confined space when the disease was still present in her breast. Maybe she has a lumpectomy or mastectomy. She has some degree of therapy, and maybe she has some degree of remission for a period of time, maybe even 5 years. Unfortunately, a large percentage of those women, their disease will come back. And when it comes back, it's left the primary breast and now moved to distant sites in her body, her bone, her liver, even perhaps her brain. It's more difficult to treat at that time. We can't just remove the disease from her body, and we have to treat her with drugs. And so again, we have drugs that can do a good job for some percentage of patients, but there's still this large class of percentage of patients that will become resistant to those drugs and will present in this highly metastatic state. And those are the patients that we want to go after. We want to offer them a new clinical option that hopefully will be less toxic than standard chemotherapy, so they can remain on it for longer periods of time. Our therapy also has a very unique biological consequence, which is that we actually kill the tumor cells as opposed to just holding those cells in check. The issue is when you hold tumor cells in check and you prevent them from proliferating, yes, that's good for a period of time, but it does allow some evolution or further resistance to occur. By killing the tumor cell, we're actually reducing the tumor burden, and we expect that we'll get better overall survival outcomes.
That leads me to another question that I didn't put down here, but it's related to the actual breast cancer. Are you doing this with both hormone receptor negative and hormone receptor positive patients?
Yes. So initially, our first clinical approach is against hormone receptor positive, actually the largest class of breast cancer patients. About 70% of women that are diagnosed with breast cancer are HR positive. We do have some evidence that our drug will work in triple negative breast cancer patients. And now we know that a lot of HER2 positive patients also do have some response there as well. So we're really, while we're pushing the drug forward to the clinic, we're not giving up our basic mechanistic R&D roots, and we are really continuing to explore the avenues that the drug will work in, as well as different, as I mentioned, different drug combinations, other combination with other drugs that are actually on the market. Can we even get better synergy and better response with some of these combinations? So there is more work that's going to be going on that front as well.
So what are your biggest challenges ahead?
I think that we expect scientifically there will be some challenges, some tweaks that happen during the manufacturing process. I think that's pretty standard, but I also think we have all of the KOLs in place to help us navigate these challenges. I think our biggest challenge is really raising the funds to finish this trajectory, this development plan. There's a lot of competition in the biotech space, and we're out there on the road talking to different people, trying to convince them and share our story so that other people can join our team and help us get our product to market.
What kind of competition do you have right now?
I'd say directly, we have a very unique target. We're the only company going after this protein called P27. And so in that space, I think we have a unique target with unique biology and a unique approach. There are other companies that are also now starting to become interested in this resistance problem. And there are some other drugs that are moving through the pipelines. That said, we have a very different biology than many of these other drugs because we can actually kill tumor cells. I'd say some of our direct competitors, again, just hold those tumors in check. And while that will be good for patients, it won't be great. And we want to create a drug that we actually think is great.
Is this going to be an oral medication, an infused medication?
Yes, so this would be an infusion, and that is one of the things that we're working on right now. Right now, we dose patients maybe twice a week, but we're trying to get that down to one time a week. We're being very cognizant of trying to create a medication that can work with our patients' lives. We want to make this not only a effective medication, but something that can fit in and give them a good quality of life, particularly in this metastatic state when they might not be, fully, up to speed. So we are working very closely with our pharmacologist, and we have this issue in the forefront of our research stream.
Is there any last thing that the two of you would like to share with the community?
Just that I think that we at Concarlo are nimble and flexible, and I think that is demonstrated by the fact that in 4 years we've taken our product, we've taken basically what was an academic idea, and we now have a preclinical asset. And I think that is a testimony to how we can bootstrap and how we can build teams, and we can get different domain leaders to come together. And I think we are committed to get this into patients. I think that we are women, and breast cancer is more than just a research idea for us. We all know the sisters, the mothers, the daughters, the friends. And I think as women, we also always worry about getting breast cancer. Will our daughters get it, our mothers? And that is something that we want to change. We want to change this conversation for all women. And I think because of our backgrounds, we're going to see this through.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we would like to convey. This is not just a job for this.
Right.
This is really, this is our mission right now.
And that's how we came together on it. You know, Stacy was an academic, doing amazing research, and I've been an investor and an advisor for a really long time. And this wasn't just an exercise in
Yeah.
making money or not making money. This was an exercise in something that we really thought could change the conversation about this type of cancer.
I think that as a lot of academics think it's, that we just do our work and, we say we're going to cure cancer, but you know what? You actually then have to put yourself out there and get your beautiful academic ideas into the commercial foray. And it's been a really great ride. And, I think that would be what I would really want to come across. We will get this to work. And
Yep.
we hope that we have lots of investors and colleagues and collaborators join our team and join our mission, because we're going to get there.